I am Analcova. I will be your guide in the Spanish cycle.
Okay, welcome to what we're going to start talking about is knife defenses, knife training, and a whole lot of body movements that are not normal because you haven't practiced them. One of the first things we're going to talk about are the angles and the lines of attack. Here, as you can see on the floor, on the mats, we have a series of different lines. Now these lines come basically from the Occidental fighting method of the Spanish school of the circle. If I connect it, here you see angles and you see straight lines, but if I were to connect these lines together on the periphery, you would see a circle. So each one of these is, if you make a cut down a circle, what do you end up with? You end up with a triangle or a pie-shaped piece. And other people who were beaten by the Spanish, basically the Filipinos, saw part of the circle but misinterpreted it and only got the triangle out of it. So in their arts, you'll see the sword here and the dagger. Now, we're talking some incredibly complex geometry. And that's why this was considered an art and a science, and they found bravery in the fact that they understood it as a science. So it was no longer two tough guys facing each other. If you attack me on this line, I have responses, go ahead, I have this response on this line, or I have this response over here on this line. This is just one of the many different...
Offside flank is bad.
You'll be my guy. I mean, you can be back in your line. Okay, so Jim is attacking, right? Jim attacks slowly. Okay, he's attacking now. What we want to... It looks very strange, but this one... And this is on JP. See the foot movement? It's back, that's underneath. You can go over the top, over the top, over the top, underneath, over the top, underneath. Okay, try that. But the foot movement with the hand movement is very important because your whole body has to be retrained, I guess.
Life is a duel in Europa.
Okay, anyway, so if we have blades and we're dueling, all right, now, this is what my response, see this end, I'm cutting, see it's my blade would be cutting his wrist, because the hand guard is here, which was developed by Europeans. Japanese weren't smart enough to decide their hand was in danger. But then every European just cut your hand off. Why do I don't care about this? You got the weapon, into that. Anyway, so my response would be this. Because he's attacking here. Now I go clothesline, he's stuck once, right? As I'm moving around, there's one, And I can bring my sword across his arm again if I really want to be incredibly cool, There's also things I can go back here. And here, but then it's, because he's going to be dropping to the ground. Yeah, it's all going to be much quicker than that, because when he attacks, that's pretty much it, seriously, I'm not lying,
Yeah.
And that's what dueling was about. You can see, I can see what the attraction was to why people would want to do it, because there's a life to the duel. Because once I contact with you, it's me knowing what angles, and you're dead. If I get on the outside of you, you're dead. Because if you make a big movement like they do in fencing, you're dead against someone dueling, because you can't do that. Because if I'm staying very cautious, there's one there, and then, well, it was entertainment, it was everything, There was the reason why dueling in Europe was huge, Same time the same time the Renaissance was going on was the height of dueling. Totally different this time around is that the select group of people who are here to learn these skills are doing these in phases. The phases consist...
Today we are in Granada, Spain,
and we're going to talk with and listen to Javier Domingo as he explains a little bit about the history of warfare, duels, and a little bit of the general history of Spain. Javier, could you start with a little bit of the history of this part of Spain?
We can start with the 15th century, when Christopher Columb discovered the New World, discovered America. Then this is perhaps the best period of our history. We were conquered. Sometimes they say we were cruel or something like that, but we were just conquered. In this time in Spain and of course all over Europe, we had many wars, many violence. It was a normal fact in our life, in our day-to-day life. And then in this period, 15th, 16th, even 17th century, duels was a very, very important thing in our history. It was just a matter of dignity, a matter of honor. Then it was usual to solve one problem, this problem of honor, dignity. It was usual to solve this problem with a duel. In the 17th centuries, this duel was with sword. And the final, it was a death of one of the opponents. Then they say that it was a bit mean or cruel or not rational. And then there was later there was another technique. It was first blood result. We can say first blood. They say that it was not real enough, a more real solution, we can say. Then, well, these duels were in public places. Later, in the 18th century, duels were forbidden, but they continue, of course. They continue in more or less under the table, but it was completely forbidden. Now then, the civil war in Spain and many others. In Spain, it was very important, for example, in these duels, the sword, the Toledo steel sword. The Toledo steel, it was a real famous steel in all over the world, because cut, with just one cut, they can kill the opponent. They could, for example, cut the shoulder, head, everything. Then this steel from Toledo was a real good point, a real basement for our victories, for our conquests all over the world, in America and in Europe. We were the biggest empire all over the world, even bigger than the Roman Empire, of course.